Do not compare Heath Ledger and Joaquin Phoenix. Hey, what's going on my YouTube street people? It's been a while since I've done a video. I was ill not too long ago, just a bit of a cold, but I thought, you know what, I'm not gonna film because my voice is gonna sound all sorts of messed up. But we're here because I got to see the Joker this week, last week, I don't know. English is a weird language. Anyway, I got to see it on the 25th, so let's have a look at this bad boy. So yeah, I'm happy about that. And also on the front of it, it's got like my favorite thing from the posters, so it's pretty dope. I'm happy about that. So it's really cool. So at BFI IMAX at the enemy's house. We won't discuss the name because I'm going to talk about Cineworld on this channel. So I got to see the Joker and it was a great movie. I really enjoyed it. So first things first, I already kind of said it. Did I like this movie? Absolutely. It borrows from like quite a few Batman and Joker stories. So it's kind of hard to really say this is the story that it borrows from a lot. It's a lot of bits and pieces, but for the most part, it's literally its own story. Now, for things that I like, we obviously have to talk about our boy, Joaquin Phoenix. He is amazing. Some people have probably said, well, not probably, I've read it, that he's overacting. I'm like, well, no, it actually makes sense for the movie, the acting that he does and the story that they're telling about the character of Arthur Fleck. Now, I'm not one that really cares about the trophies and the rewards and everything, but if anything ever deserved a reward or a golden statue on their or the mantle or the fire piece or whatever it is, this piece of acting that Joaquin Phoenix does hit me. It was good. I believed what he was doing so much in this movie, and to be fair, the rest of the cast is amazing, but the work that Joaquin Phoenix has to put into the character was just unbelievable. It's hard to compare it to so many other things, or at the very least this year that I've seen, in terms of one actor's acting ability. It's just unparalleled from what I can remember in my head. So what's it about? More so, rather than what's it about, this story is tight and concise, and that is beautiful and what makes this movie really good. It doesn't spend so much time on trying to give you so much exposition for other things. It just keeps story right here, right now, and this is what's going on. It wasn't too deep, it wasn't too shallow. It was just at that correct G-spot, sweet spot. Like I said, this story does focus on Arthur Fleck. He basically is a failed comedian. He's a clown working at parties, and he's a failed comedian, which does lend itself to other stories like The Killing Joke and so on, that are pretty much known as the origin of the Joker. And the Joker doesn't really have a main continuity origin, which lends itself well to the overall part of the story. Even with that, like I said before, it doesn't give too much exposition, but there's so much more to this movie than just his story, as it were. There's a lot more beneath the surface that goes on. Like on the surface level, it's just about that, but it tells so much more that's going on within the world of Gotham that seems to have this real issue with the world right now within the city of Gotham. This movie, The Joker, is touted as the origins of the Joker, and like I said before, he doesn't really have one within the comics, but this movie does a really great job of telling the story. And what's really great about this movie is that the selling point, yes, is the origin, but this movie is a character study into Arthur Fleck as a character, given the name character study, into how he deals with people and how people deal with him and how things affect him that he does in life and what happens with that and the consequences of what has happened to him prior and after events within this movie. If I were to categorize this movie, I would say it's more of a psychological thriller, similar to how other of the, say, MCU movies or even the DC movies are not just superhero movies. They are movies that are a different genre dressed up as superhero movies when they are done well. And this movie, albeit called a Joker movie, and it is a DC movie and effectively a superhero movie, or in this case, supervillain movie, I really feel that this movie really stands by itself. If it was not attached to the Joker, this would have a completely different commercial vibe to it. So either way, this movie is going to be doing really big numbers, and I'm really happy that this has been made, and I'm happy DC has taken this shot for the Joker, and hopefully they continue in this manner. Apparently this is meant to be for DC Black, which is kind of more standalone, darker movies. Like I mentioned before with the actors, the supporting cast are absolutely amazing. Zazie Beetz, which I'm pretty sure I've said that wrong because I think it's meant to be the German pronunciation, which is Zazie Beetz. I don't know, but she's great. Robert De Niro's great. All the actors in this movie, Arthur Fleck's mom, I can't remember her name as the actress, but everyone just does such a great job, and it's just wonderful. It felt like they were having a good time filming this because it just feels natural and organic. Nothing in there makes me go, if it makes me feel like they're saying, look at me. Look at me. The journey you go on in this movie is very much a roller coaster, but not in the same roller coaster that you get if you ever saw Endgame or Infinity War or anything like that. It's very slow burn, keeps going up, and then it amps up and amps up. It keeps going. It's 0 to 100, but not in a snapshot. It's very slow paced, which is great. And if I'm honest, which I have been, my body was literally tense the whole time that this movie was going on. And not in a bad way. This was a very good tense. Like, I couldn't wait to see what was gonna happen next. It was just great, and the music, the score that's attached to this movie is great, and Joker's theme within this movie, amazing. Now, as much as I did love this movie, there were some things that I weren't that big a fan of. Very minute things, don't get me wrong, this movie is very, very good. But Easter eggs, I feel like there was, at least what I noticed, or I guess you could say didn't notice, there are a lot of things that weren't in this movie that I feel that would have made Gotham itself feel a lot more alive, as it were. Now, don't get me wrong, visually, it is amazing in terms of it makes it look very dreary, that Gotham is this place that, well, is in need of help, and that they're in need of a hero. Not the one it deserves, but the one that it needs. So back to the Easter eggs. This situation is more of, like I said, it makes it feel alive, or more so it relates to the comics, for those that do know. So there's one part where Arthur Fleck is walking past down the street, a cosmetic store or something along those lines, and it just has some random name, at least from my memory's sake anyway, that's on there, and it's cosmetics, I believe it is. So with that, they could have had Janus Cosmetics on there. Janus Cosmetics is actually run by the Sionis family, and the main person that's kind of connected to that is Roman Sionis, because it's an ongoing thing and he knows Bruce Wayne, blah, 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 blah. But the fact is that these little things that would be, I guess you could say, more catered to the more diehard fans of Batman and so on that know these things would be great. But from what I saw, there was nothing outside of it, which I guess works in terms of, like, you know, just as a movie. But these Easter eggs, I feel, these references to the comics and the wider world, if they do decide to continue with another Joker movie or something else within this DC Black universe that they've got going on, ideally, then that would connect these things to say that they are in the same world. They don't have to be connected movies like the MCU, but that they do share this piece of fabric that's embroidered with these Easter eggs from, say, Star City and things like that. And I honestly feel that these things would not take away from the core story because it's all in the background. Sometimes the movie did feel very artsy for art's sake, and you can see in some of the trailers where he's kind of dancing. That happens a bit more than I'd probably like in the movie, and it feels like it's literally doing it for the sake of, all right, maybe we can get an Oscar for this. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm interpreting it wrong based on my knowledge, or lack thereof, I guess you could say. But it just seems like these these scenes where it seems very artsy are just there because it creates a nice mystique. But it could be related more to the darker sides of what does happen in this movie in terms of Arthur Fleck's character. So if it is that is really good. If not, and it's just artsy for literally, let's put this scene in there because it's going to create some mystique, I'm not a fan of that. Other than those things that I didn't like, this movie is fantastic. It is a wonderful story with great acting and visually very nice, albeit without the Easter eggs and so on, but visually it serves justice to this movie being set in the 1980s, I believe it is, and it's just great. The character-driven plot is wonderful. The characters that you do meet in this story are wonderful. And I think in terms of, well, it's kind of got a hint of social commentary, and that is amazing. It's not at the forefront of the movie, but the topic of the movie, especially if you've seen the trailers, does tell you a lot about what this movie is trying to discuss behind the Arthur Fleck story, because do not get it twisted. The Arthur Fleck story is front and center, that's what it's about. But again, like I said at the beginning of the video, it does show you what happens with Arthur Fleck and how he interacts with people and how people interact with him and what is going on with him in his life and externally as well. And as always, do I recommend seeing this movie? 100% recommend it. Where do I recommend seeing this movie? In the cinema. Now, I tend to like to see movies that are more sci-fi based with big actions and so on in the cinema, but this movie deserves your money because of how good it is. So definitely go do that. Quick side note now that we've got the review, the whole discussion for Heath Ledger and Joaquin Phoenix. I'm gonna be blunt about it. It's hella stupid. Like, it's absolutely hella stupid. It doesn't make any, right, no. Not that it doesn't make any sense, it's just highly awkward to compare them. Because you've got one character, Heath Ledger's Joker, in a Batman-centered movie. And you've got Joaquin Phoenix, who is in a Joker-centered movie. One, these characters are incredibly different in the messages that they are sending and the characterization of them within their movies that they are in. Heath Ledger only spent, call it 20 minutes in a movie that's over 2 hours. Joaquin Phoenix is the center of his own movie. And again, the characters are incredibly different. So when people are saying, ooh, is it gonna be better than Heath or better than Jack Nicholson or whatever, it's unfair to compare these characters. In fact, well, really and truly, it's more likely that you should compare Heath and Jack Nicholson because of the time spent in the movie, and the movies are about Batman. Whereas this movie, Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, is about Arthur Fleck and Joker. It makes sense to compare him to him and how well he did in the movie or how bad he did in the movie. Can we please stop these comparisons? It does not bear any fruit or anything that really matters across the board. Acting skills, yes. But saying which one is truly better is unfair to the previous ones for the fact that they were not involved in the movie for the longest period. And the impact that they have on social people in terms of content creators or just general conversations across the board was stronger because of the times when the movie was made. Now that the Joker movie is out, or rather will be out on Friday the 4th, go check it out, trust me. Then we can have these really good comparisons of just acting skill. But which one is better? It's tough. Anyway, now that we're ending the video, can you please leave a like, comment, subscribe, share this video with your friends and your families, and including your enemies, because you know you want to make them suffer and deal with this thing going on here. That'd be amazing. Please, thank you so much for watching the video. Gonna be other videos in this area. Subscribe, like I said before. Dudes, I still don't have a sign off yet, so peace.